Devin,
Ollie.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
You're in the hot seat.
That's what it is. Okay.
Is it warm?
I was burning up.
Is it red under there?
Yep.
I wrote them down. Why do you know so much about bugs? Is one of my questions. Okay, wait. Let me start over.
Why are you so weird?
I'm the person who talks about things with people.
Well, I sound like an asshole, but I like to think I know about a lot of stuff. Bugs are just a thing.
How come you know a lot of stuff?
Knowledge gives me purpose. If I didn't take a proactive engagement with understanding the world at a deep level, I'd be wasting my life. Because I believe you only get one.
So, do you get a hankering to learn? Tell me about the process. Like, ooh, I wonder what. Do you Google? Do you?
Oh, I mean, sometimes.
Go to the library, pull out the encyclopedia.
I grew up with a lot of encyclopedias.
I picture that for you.
Encyclopedia
really? In
Britannica.
Your home?
Yeah, in my home, and my grandparents, they had, back from like the days of door-to-door salesmen, people selling like Encyclopedia Britannica and World Atlases and all that.
And you're like, I'll take the lot.
Pretty much. When I was a kid, I've told you about this before, but I had polyarticular arthritis. So when a lot of kids are like, bouncing around and, being super physically active, I really couldn't. I could barely walk. So I learned to read at a pretty young age and, dove headlong into it. So I just find the world to be absolutely fascinating. I love this existence, or as much pain as it can bring. I really do love it. And the pursuit of knowledge is one of life's great pleasures. So.
I do. It's interesting, the people who know so much. They love. they love it. They love to learn. You have to love to learn in order to really retain it, because otherwise it's just going to be a short term, study for the final tomorrow, but it's not gonna stick. And yeah.
I mean, I think about it kind of like Newtonian physics, like an object that's at rest will remain at rest, right? And understanding new things is a way of sort of propelling yourself into the future, because you're presented with new unknown quantities and new questions. There's a kind of momentum that you give yourself when you learn something new and you want to know more about it, because it'll take you somewhere new.
You're very good at not picking up other people's stuff. True, confirm or deny?
I've definitely been called oblivious before. Yeah, absolutely.
Because and that's, I think that could be helpful, but I could see people being offended by that, maybe.
I think it's tough when someone wants to convey something that's very personal, but people aren't direct communicators, so sometimes they're hoping you'll pick it up, and it's just like, nah.
You gotta just say it.
No presumptions.
Yeah.
Maybe if they don't think I'm a bag of hot air.
Do you feel that about yourself?
I've been told that a lot. I tend not to think poorly of myself, because it's, what's the point of it? But yeah, I've had plenty of people tell me that I'm pretentious, or I don't know what I'm talking about, and God, there's no room to really get dragged down by that. You just keep moving, sort of thing.
And so when you're told that, you don't change in any way?
No, because very, very often it's, a lot of times when people do this, they'll come back to me either years later or months later, and they'll have a different perspective on it. I think a lot of times when the foundations of what you know or who you are shaken, the first response is anger. who do you think you are
Mm-hmm.
to tell me what my life is, what reality is? What gives you the right? So I get it. But I'm not gonna, sort of kowtow to people's sensibilities in that way. Life's too short.
Mm-hmm.
You're either with me for this or you're not.
It's interesting to me because a lot of the times you're talking about growing and that growth mindset and attaining knowledge and asking more questions and being curious about the mysteries of the universe and whatnot. And I feel like a lot of my growth mindset is based around being a better person for people around me. So if I got feedback, I would be very aware of whatever it is they said. It would stick in me, and I'd want to be better for the next person, even though it's just one opinion and it might be based on their projections or, like you said, anger or something that's not necessarily to be taken seriously. But sometimes I don't know, it's just really hard for me to not consider it and then change in some way.
I mean, for me, first off, I don't identify as a nihilist at all. I do think value and purpose exists in this world. I just think it's self-determined. I don't think there's any overall structure or way of thinking that really informs how we should be engaging in life.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
we create our own meaning, sort of thing.
well, yeah, you have to. You have to, or else you're kind of being led by the nose, everywhere, and that's not free.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really in control of your own life then.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, kind of lost me for a sec. But I tend to think you will never be perfect for anybody.
That's true.
Genuinely. So this idea of, what is better? Because sometimes better is just making people less uncomfortable, but maybe the fact that you're making them, within reason, obviously, as long as you're not being offensive or harmful. Sometimes unintentionally getting people to confront their discomfort or things that they don't love about themselves and really, stand naked to face it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're setting yourself in a relative position, am I good enough for this person, and how can I be better for this person? Again, you're kind of taking the agency that you would otherwise have in your life as a motivation and adopting someone else's motivations and someone else's outlook.
A lot of the things I change are based on my own criticisms of myself. And a lot of them are just thinking what people might think of me. Or thinking, just stupid stuff that doesn't matter. The end. We can change the subject unless you have something in that breath.
I had a teacher who always talked about this kind of unhealthy habit of sitting in the seat of your inadequacy, and that's kind of being self-critical, and sometimes you gotta get up out of that chair.
And dance.
Well, and move. Sometimes the process of, addressing these self-criticisms, it really just is a byproduct of continuing and living. I think people try to over-determine what the right course of and then you end up with that that Hamlet thing where you're wrapped up in indecision and you're neither good nor evil, you're just nothing.
While I'm focusing on these things, I'm also aware of, I don't know what the word would this be, I'm also aware of that it doesn't matter while I'm doing it. I'll be aware of the foolishness of sometimes the things that I'm doing, hyper aware. I guess it's just self-awareness. But it doesn't stop me. No. Do you feel like you're aware of how you come across in the world?
No.
Do you think about it?
No, I can't. I can't. I mean, you can spend all the time just considering the unknowable questions, but you gotta turn your attention and focus to what can actually be found out.
Which is?
I don't know, just whatever. Like, what's your favorite color? That's a good one. Like.
What is your favorite color?
Red.
I would have guessed orange. Close.
Yeah, close.
Sunset.
Yeah, I don't, when I think of yellow, I think of, like, rot and sickness. So I don't like the...
And all the bruising that you had as a child.
Oh, yeah, from the schoolyard scraps. Oh, man. I don't know. There was, I'm not a very sunny, happy person. And I think there's strong connotations with, like an optimism in orange. I don't know if it's like the phonetics of it, even though they're not really phonetically similar. But orange is a happier color than red for me.
What does red feel like to you?
Red's a color of, like, perseverance in the face of loss, I think. And there's a kind of dignity to it that I just don't personally find in other colors. But I'm not the authority on what colors mean what.
I know. This is a subjective question.
Yes.
It's not what is the best color.
Right. But you could think, forever, what is the best color? And just kind of, swim in that pool for a life.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can answer what's best in a lot of ways.
No.
Because it is just subjective, what's best.
Yeah, it's what's best for you.
What's best for you?
I enjoy when all activity ceases. I view most stimuli from the world to be on some level a little stressful. So it's those moments of tranquility, like when you're walking home from something. You get the time to look up at the sky and do all that. It's I think Camus, he had a great interpretation of the myth of Sisyphus. Everyone knows this story. The guy pushing the rock up the hill rolls back down. He's cursed to do this for all eternity. But he has the walk down. And he gets to see all the world lay below him. He's going to get back that rock. And that's what life is. So, I know what pleasure is, and that's why I say I don't really experience it easily. Because it's kind of like a state of being charged or euphoric. We had that super exciting show yesterday. I'm like, I recognized it was cool and everything, but I didn't really feel any way about it. I just didn't. And what was the second part of your question again?
Do you find that to enjoy is even the goal at this point of existence or of your how you want to live? Well,
I think that's a dreadful way of looking at it. Like that there is a goal in existence. That's so much pressure. Because what if you fail? Well done.
Then you disappoint yourself time and time again.
And everyone you love. And, when you betray all the ideas that matter to you, and it was all for naught. So
Do you set any intentions, though?
Oh, yeah.
So what are some of those?
I want to add to people's lives in a constructive and positive way when I interact with them. I want to... I might be it. As far as other people are concerned, I know it's kind of a pointless word, but I just want to be good. I want to leave a warm memory for people. And for myself, I think I've had a pretty decent life. So I don't have much to complain about. Well, I'm just happy to be here.
Me too. You use cinematic video?
No, I don't think mine is your model. It's only got the one camera.
Sorry.
It looks like yours got like 4 or 5. Oh.
It's portrait mode, but video.
Wow.
So the baby wipes in the background are just a blur. Wow, this is so vivid. Make a subtle emotion, and I have to guess. Concerned. Befuddled.
Oh.
Is it a word I don't know?
Bemused.
Oh, that's amused.
It's kind of like amused, but a little more playful. Be amused.
It's funny because the two that I chose were like negative kind of.
Like I said, people say I'm oblivious, and I think I'm really kind of mystical with how I communicate sometimes. So, yeah.
Mystical.
Yeah. Yeah, normally when I talk with people, I think they have to like sit down and think about it outside of the conversation as to what the fuck I was actually talking about. and that's not on them. That's totally on me for my communication style. What are you gonna do?
Ooh, that's actually smart.
Hey, look at a filter. Wow. All right.
To be continued.
Home is where the heart is.
My heart is in some recycling bin in New Jersey.